Tony Hawk's Underground is the best Tony Hawk game. Now, hold on. I might be biased in saying that because it's also my favorite game of all time. The Tony Hawk franchise is not exactly the powerhouse it used to be, with the last major game being so bad it pretty much ended the franchise. Until Activision wanted money again.
Tony Hawk's 1+2 is really good. Buy it so Activision will make more of them.
It really makes you wonder how they went from the second best game of all time, according to Metacritic, to one of the worst games of all time, according to almost everyone. But we're not here to talk about the troubled history of the franchise. Everybody's already talked about it. We're here to talk about one game.
I don't know why.
The game that changed the franchise forever. The game that set the standard for Tony Hawk games to come. And the game that added cars. Okay, I won't say it's the best game of all time, but today on GlueGhost, we're talking about my favorite game of all time, Tony Hawk's Underground.
Looks like that thing's held together with duct tape. Let's go skate.
Tony Hawk's Underground was released on October 27, 2003, developed by Neversoft Studios and published by Activision. I'm not going to waste your time explaining what a Tony Hawk game is, so we're moving on to the new mechanics that the game brought to the Tony Hawk franchise in about 10 seconds. You can hip transfer, acid drop, pressure flip, and drive, and you can get off your board. That's it. Do all of these features suck? Yeah, kinda, but they're helpful for continuing combos. Except driving. This was also the first Tony Hawk game to feature a story mode, replacing the classic 2-minute collectathon formula from the previous games. We're gonna very quickly just go over the entire story, okay? 3, 2, 1. You're setting up your board when your good pal Eric Sparrow,
spoiler, he's not a good pal,
knocks on your window and tells you that Chad Muska is coming to your hometown of New Jersey for a skate demo. You and Eric buy tickets to the demo and watch as Chad Muska does one trick and then talk about his Escalade for half an hour.
Check this out.
You decide to chase Muska's car while doing sick kick grabs and nose flips, and that grabs his attention. So Muska runs you over with his car and tells you to try to get sponsored by your local skate shop, and throws a skateboard at you before speeding off to get away from the cops. After hitting up your local skate shop, you're given the task of impressing recruiters with your gnarly skater boy tricks. After you impress the recruiters, night falls and drug dealers break into the skate shop and steal gear. So in order to prove that you're not playing around, you sneak onto the thief's property and get the gear back. Your good pal Eric Sparrow meets up afterwards, and while you're heading back to the shop, he sets fire to the thief's car. The next day, you head over to your local skate shop to look for the owner, but he's sitting on the mailbox right in front of you. He's none other than Stacy Peralta, a legendary filmmaker in the skateboarding world. Too bad in the world nobody knows who this guy is. Anyways, you tell Peralta that you want to get sponsored, and Stacy tells you to make a sponsor me video, with the catch that it can't be local because he's seen everything in New Jersey. After talking to Peralta, you meet up with your good pal Eric Sparrow, but right as you're about to tell him about meeting the Stacy Peralta, Eric tells you that the dealers know he set fire to their car. Now both of you need to leave New Jersey before things get really bad. Luckily, your good pal Eric Sparrow knows a guy in New York. Unfortunately, the only way to get to New York is the train station, which is across a bridge that's blocked by police. Not a problem though, your good pal Eric Sparrow talks to Headstone Harry and he agrees to build a ramp. But you have to get the scrap metal for it, of course. Once you grab the scrap metal, Harry builds the ramp. All that's left is building enough speed to launch over the bridge. Luckily, in a mission I didn't talk about in the first chapter, you befriended a local street racing gang, and their leader, Johnny Turbo, agrees to let you skitch his car to gain enough speed. And so you grab the car, build the speed, phase through the still burning SUV for some reason, and launch into the stratosphere, thanks to game quirks we'll get into later. The cops leave the bridge to go chase after Johnny Turbo, and so now, it's easily accessible. Now to get the tickets. Wait, nope, there's one more problem. A cop is blocking the entrance to the train station. No problem, just make him run in circles until he screams pork. And you're in the train station. After you grab a ticket, your good pal Eric Sparrow is kidnapped by the dealers. Oh darn! And you chase after their new car on a puny skateboard. Whoa, holy cannoli! This is another fun little quirk that we'll talk about later. Normally, without that little quirk there, you're about to lose them when suddenly Johnny Turbo blocks the dealers from escaping. A car chase ensues, you're right behind their tail, and oh my god! Somehow, you survive that horrific crash, and you and your good pal Eric Sparrow escape the dealers, hopping onto a train headed north for Manhattan. Alright, now that you guys understand the general writing style and structure of the story, we're just going to very quickly breeze past the rest of it, okay? Okay, you make it to Manhattan, you find people who can help you film, and you film a Sponsor Me video. That includes a flaming taxi that your good pal Eric Sparrow totally had nothing to do with. Peralta loves the film, and he sends his old bus to help you and your good pal Eric Sparrow get to Tampa for the Tampa Am contest. Am means amateur, if you were wondering. I know you were. You were scratching your little noggin what am could mean, right? And after scraping enough dough for gas money, you make it to Tampa. You're stopped by the Florida Highway Patrol, and your good pal Eric Sparrow is sent to jail until you can get him out by doing favors for the local police, 1312. After you do those favors, your good pal Eric Sparrow has the bright idea for you to destroy Mayor Jed's campaign billboards. After doing this, the cops are reasonably upset, but your good pal Eric Sparrow steals a cop car to make things worse, and so you ditch it in the river to get rid of the cops. It's Tampa Am time, but you're not on the list. Whoops! Your good pal Eric Sparrow forgot to add you to the list. That's a shame. If only you could meet Tony Hawk or something to get into the Tampa Am without being on the list. You end up winning the Tampa Am in flying colors, and every pro wants to sign you to their company. This is starting to sound like fan fiction.
I gotta give it to you, that run was bullshit. No, in a good way though.
And you're given the option of choosing the team between Birdhouse, Element, Girl, Flip, or Zero. Regardless of whatever team you choose, I chose Girl because I like Eric Costin. You head to San Diego. This is Todd. He's fat, he's the team manager, and he's fat. That's his character. After setting things up for a team demo, you're featured on an ad for the demo. This means it's time to party before the demo. So you set things up for the party, grab some girls.
Party? We're not going to a party.
And party all over San Diego. Ah, beans, it's the next morning, and you're supposed to be at the team demo. Todd wakes you up and introduces you to your good pal Eric Sparrow. He's joined the team. But where's the rest of the team? After wrangling them up and taking their skateboards back from the park security, you wow everyone at the team demo so much that they decide to fly everyone out to Hawaii.
Paradise. Clear skies, sandy beaches, and warm water. Nothing says vacation like a quick trip to Hawaii to soak up the sun and drink to your heart's content.
You and your team take a wonderful vacation to Hawaii, capturing some footage for an upcoming team video. When your good pal Eric Sparrow shows you sick footage that he got at Wallows, a legendary skate spot in Honolulu, Eric asks you what you have planned for the video. And you lie to him, saying that you got a secret spot to film. After collecting some more footage, a tour bus guide dares you to climb to the roof of a 40-story hotel. And so you do, and that's when you find it. That cool spot that you lied to your good pal Eric Sparrow about. You call him and tell him to meet you at the roof.
You serious? You miss your Ollie, we'll be sending you back to Jersey in a coffee can.
After collecting some footage on the roof, including a sick roof-to-roof jump, the cops show up on a helicopter. Suddenly, inspiration strikes you. Against your good pal Eric Sparrow's reasoning, you build up speed and launch high into the air, hitting a McTwist over the helicopter. Somehow, you don't get sucked into the blades, and your good pal Eric Sparrow got it all on camera. It's the best thing anyone's ever filmed. Immediately afterwards, you gotta get out of Hawaii, so the team packed their bags up for the Slam City Jam and flies back to the mainland to Vancouver. Well, when you know it, nobody got enough footage for the team video. Maybe it's a bad idea to go on a business trip to Hawaii. And it's supposed to premiere live at the Slam City Jam. Your team throws a huge party at the hotel in Vancouver, and the next morning you're given the task of capturing extra footage for the team video before the big event. After standing in as a double, doing flatland tricks in the background of someone else's part, and recovering stolen gear from the party last night, it's time for the Slam City Jam. Your good pal Eric Sparrow bribes the limo driver to let you drive to go pick up the rest of the team, while your good pal Eric Sparrow runs ahead to get the footage to the tech in time. After picking everyone up, you rush into the stadium to catch the team video, but something's wrong.
Did I miss my part? Part? You weren't even in it, but Eric's part ruled. He did the sickest rooftop gap I've ever seen. Roof to roof in Hawaii, 40 stories up. What the?
As it turns out, your good pal Eric Sparrow isn't that good of a pal after all, because he took that roof-to-roof footage in Hawaii and claimed it was him who did it, not you. As a result of that sick footage that you did, Eric Sparrow is signed as a new pro before the contest begins so that he can enter the Slam City Jam as a pro. You confront him about the footage, including the missing helicopter jump, and he brushes you off. To get back at him, you enter the Slam City Jam as a pro.
You're a pro? They entered you as an amateur.
Someone made a mistake.
And so, it begins. The Slam City Jam. There's not much to say here. You win the contest, beat Eric's score, and become a new pro yourself. Afterwards, you're given the ability to design your own custom board. Back in Vancouver, you're celebrating becoming a pro when one of your team members tell you that you gotta get a custom shoe to get money. You get a shoe deal and all's dandy. Wait. Weren't we supposed to go somewhere? Ah, geez. You almost missed the bus, and it's headed straight to Moscow. Okay, you're in Moscow, right before a big show. So, you warm up, open the gates, you and Eric are good pals again, put on a show for the locals, and go partying afterwards. Your kinda okay pal Eric Sparrow gets wasted, steals keys to a tank, and so you hop in. The tank starts driving, and you can't stop it. You can't stop it. Eric's on the roof. You can't stop it. It's headed straight for the State Kremlin Palace. You can't stop it. Oh god, you can't stop it. Eric jumps off right before you crash into the State Kremlin Palace, and a rock falls on the tank lid so you can't leave. So now you're arrested and stuck in Moscow. And what's worse, Eric ratted you out and said that it was your idea to steal the tank. And you've been kicked off the team. That's a double whammy right there. But not to worry, for while you were warming up for the show, you somehow befriended members of the Russian mafia, and they help you leave the country after you do some favors for them. So you finally make it back to New Jersey, where you run into Eric Sparrow, now in full-on mode. You're so upset you run home to Stacy Peralta, and he reminds you that skateboarding is whatever you want it to be. You decide to make it your life mission to bring skateboarding back to the good old days. But you gotta make sure people remember who you are. So you go around town showing everyone your sick bunny hop montage when suddenly inspiration strikes. The same inspiration that struck when you did that McTwist over the helicopter. You decide to start your own team, but not just any team. A team full of skateboarding legends like Tony Hawk, like Rodney Mullen, like Bam Margarine, and me! So you take your team around the world doing crazy stunts and recording footage for your first team video, Underground.
I named my team Joe. Ha Joe Nuts, got him!
And after releasing Underground into the wild, sales skyrocket. I mean, how could they not? I'm in it. You and Stacy Peralta open up Peralta's skate shop, but before you can enter the shop, your local Eric Sparrow shows up and offers to buy your team. Of course, you refuse, brush him off, but Eric isn't satisfied with that, because he has something very important: the helicopter jump. In exchange for the helicopter jump, he challenges you to one last trip around the neighborhood. Winner takes the tape. So you chase him throughout the town, and finally get the tape back, revealing to the whole world the helicopter footage you lost so long ago. Or and so that's the story of Tony Hawk's Underground. Okay, it's cheesy as cheese can be, It's goofy, it's over the top, and it's pretty much a middle schooler's skateboard self-insert fanfiction, but I love it. It's that perfect mix of melodrama and kid with sugar level writing, like, and then Tony Hawk does a 900 all over Eric Sparrow's grave, and then Bam Margera throws up on it, and we all go out to get ice cream, and Iron Man is there! But not everything in the story works. At parts, it relies too heavily on, like, skater pop culture references and name drops that the average kid wouldn't have understood at the time. But even then, it doesn't need you to understand everything to get fully immersed into the soap opera drama between you and your Eric Sparrow. But that's not the only reason why Tony Hawk's Underground is my favorite game of all time. What sells it, what really sells it for me, is the gameplay. We'll first talk about the controls, which are really good. There's, of course, the basics. You press the jump button to jump. You do flip tricks, you do grab tricks, triangle for grinds. You press the jump button to jump. I know it sounds very complex for somebody who's never played a Tony Hawk game, but, like, trust me, it's all smooth, it's all natural, you'll get it immediately. This is stuff that everyone who's played these games before already knows. But the best part about these controls is that they're not perfect. There's a lot of exploits and glitches that allow you to do crazy stuff like this. Quirks and features and exploits and glitches that the community has found over the years that really help you push the possibilities for this game. It's amazing, it's wild. But a lot of that improv would not be possible without another piece of the puzzle: level design. Okay, Tony Hawk's Underground features 11 maps, including one bonus map, Hotter Than Hell, which is a Kiss themed map. Kiss the band. I don't know why. And 3 hidden maps from Pro Skater 2, Hangar, School 2, and Venice Beach. The main levels of the story are New Jersey, Manhattan, Tampa, San Diego, Hawaii, Vancouver, Slam City Jam, and Moscow. Out of those 8 levels, 5 of them are considered some of the best Tony Hawk maps of all time. The attention to detail for these levels are insane. Every square inch of these maps have something to skate on. There's about 1 million ways to combo through them. And there's no better example than the first level of the game, New Jersey. You can combo the entire city. That's a mission in the game, to combo the entire city. And it's through a line that you already gone through in the first couple of missions of the game. It just illustrates that you can go all over this map in one combo, and there's like 1 billion different ways to do it. And I might not be the best person to show you guys what I mean, but we'll go back to this improv footage in Manhattan to show you exactly what I'm talking about. The levels complement the controls complement the levels, and together they push the limits of what's possible in this game. Now, for the Tony Hawk veterans, imagine if Manhattan had half of the skatable terrain it has. It would be impossible to do anything like this. And then there's the music. Tony Hawk's Underground has the largest soundtrack of any Tony Hawk game, none of which I can play. I think it's like 77 or 78 songs. But this soundtrack goes hard. Names like Nos, MF Doom, Jurassic 5,
Deltron 3030,
Mr. Lift, the list goes on, with hip-hop, rock, and punk music. Do yourself a favor and go find a playlist of the soundtrack, like on Spotify or whatever. Just listen to it. Oh my goodness. Just put it on shuffle. It doesn't matter what song you start off with. You start off with the perfect song. Now, before I go, I want to talk about one last thing, and the last reason why it's my favorite game of all time. And this reason is a little bit more abstract. When I was like 5 or 6, every week we would go to the local video rental store, and my brother and I had to agree on one game that we'd both play. But out of all the games we rented, we played Tony Hawk's Underground the most. Gosh, I must have put like thousands of hours in this game. So much so that I burned through like 4 copies of it. I have a copy of Tony Hawk's Underground on the original Xbox that's so well preserved and so well kept. that it still has that little card in it that's like subscribe to Transworld Skateboarding. And it says here you get 12 issues and a free beanie, but it expired in 2004. That's a shame. I wanted to get that free beanie. And yet, even after spending thousands of hours on this game, I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. Nowadays, I have a totally legitimate copy of Tony Hawk's Underground on my computer. Whenever I feel like wasting time, whenever I feel like winding down, or whenever I'm simply just bored, I hook up my PlayStation 2 controller through one of those PS2 to USB converters, I boot up the game, and I beat the story mode in like 3 hours. And every time I beat the game, it feels that much better to beat up Eric Sparrow in the final mission of the game. And even better than that, to send his jaw to orbit. I mean, we just... Out of all of the games that I've played, the only game that I would ever see myself coming back to in the next 10 years, maybe 20 years, is Tony Hawk's Underground. And that's something that people can't really take away from me, alright? And now, I understand that nostalgia plays a big role in my decision to call this my all-time favorite game. You know, taking off the rose-colored shades for a second here, this game is not perfect at all. It's got a lot of problems. The graphics are weak even to early PlayStation 2 standards. The comedy gives me secondhand embarrassment at some times. Some of the maps in this game are weak. The car physics are so floaty and inconsistent between vehicles that it feels like you're sliding on ice 1 second and then just not even barely controlling it the next. The blimp, like what's wrong with what happened to the blimp? You can't just normally control it. It like goes in its own trajectory. I don't understand it. The hitbox for collectibles are so small that you can fly past a bunch of them. Now I can sit here and talk about the negatives of this game all day. Trust me, I have a full-on list because I've been playing this game for years, but none of that matters because despite its quirks, despite its imperfections, despite it being not the best Tony Hawk game in the series, even though I said that in the beginning of the video just to get you guys to watch through to the end, Tony Hawk's Underground is still my favorite game of all time. And you know what? I feel like people should be allowed to love something and still talk about all of the imperfections of it, you know? Going back into like the really deeply personal stuff, Tony Hawk's Underground even inspired me to learn how to skate. Something I haven't like full on devoted my time to, but you know, I'm working on it. It also introduced me to new genres of music and all of these artists that I wouldn't have listened to without it. I wouldn't have listened to MF Doom at all if he wasn't featured in the Tony Hawk soundtrack. Like, my God. Not to mention, it also introduced me to the skateboarding culture that's rich with history and diverse and wild, with a message that says it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or who you love or what you are, you're always welcome. As long as you're you and you're letting other people be them and you can skate or willing to learn to skate, nothing else matters. Though Tony Hawk's Underground also introduced me to Ben Margera. Tony Hawk Underwear, worst game, 0 out of 10. I'm canceling Rodney Mullen on Twitter right now. He's too much of a cool dude. Save the coolness for the rest of us. And I somehow managed to make it through this whole video without talking about Shrek in Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Ah, man! Hey, thanks for watching. This is a little bit of a different video for me. I didn't plan on making this video, but like after like brainstorming for like better part of like 2 weeks, I just sort of realized that I wanted to play Tony Hawk's Underground, and I had an excuse to like make a video out of it because I wanted to play Tony Hawk's Underground. And so here's this video, you know? I hope people liked it. I hope people enjoyed it. And if you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, whatever YouTubers say. Follow me on Twitter, I guess. Link in the description to my Discord and twitch.tv/GlueGhost and crabsyart.com. Bye!